Ladies and gentlemen, today is March 28th, 2013, and this is the KNKL Emma stream. Actually, we're going to be doing KNKL Show, episode 75, continued. We're actually going to be joining you're going to be joining me and my brothers today. We're actually just going to be working in the background, putting together the packaging for your lovely posters that I'm going to be sending to all of you around the world. And today is actually the day of an awesome announcement because, as you know, I said a couple days ago, I'm going to be moving back to Utah. I'm going to be basically packing up everything here, moving the studio east to Utah and setting up shop there. So it's going to be very, very fun. I'm excited to go back there and live where it is much more financially stable. It's going to be a lot easier for me to grow the business and all of those good things. So before we get into that, I want to make sure to say thank you to everyone who has been contributing this month. If you'd like to get your name on this list for next month, some of you have already been donating, and I thank you very much. Just know that your name is going on the list for next month since we only have a couple more days left. Didn't want to put it up there for 2 days. So thank you guys very much. Alright, now before we move into the tutorial, man, it's a lot more noisy. Yeah, it's very interesting. It's like birds chirping. It's like stuff going on in the background. But before we get into that, we got some awesome things sent in yesterday after we drew all those zombies, and I said that for those of you who want to submit your designs to be in the comic, all you have to do is submit your ideas to the Facebook, and that offer still stands from here until we do the giant zombie scene, which should be coming up fairly soon. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who submitted your awesome designs, especially this one. This is freaking awesome. I love this. From Patrick Whitson. Thank you very much, Patrick. And I really like Ozzy. I like your style a lot too. So thank you guys very much, and continue to submit your awesome artwork to the Emma fan page. Alright guys, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this. Now this is a KNKL continued show, and we're going to be working with our Shakespeare Armor Man and Samus Armor Man. Right, we're basically going to be coming up with some concepts there. So, and hopefully, yeah, there's a lot more distractions going on, a lot more noise. So this is going to be pretty interesting. Ideally, I would have maybe not had a show today, but since I didn't say anything, I'm like, no, must have a show. So we're going to be jumping right into that. Can't just say no show. Can't do that. Unacceptable. Alright, so let's go ahead and start refining our Shakespearean man. In fact, I'm going to open up to the page where I've got the armor laid out. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Okay, cool. Alright, so let's basically continue from where we were. And we're going to basically take the principles that we learned here, we're going to try to push it right over into the next one. And keep in mind the large, small, medium rule there. And what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to start designing. I'm going to start designing something. Wow, this is going to be really bad if the drivers are not working. That's going to be really embarrassing. Okay, what's going on? Seriously, what's going on? Wait. Oh, that's why. I set it to 10% opacity. How awesome! Alright, so this guy we're going to be working with, let's work with like this type of thing, right? Let's kind of take this design. Let's go ahead and just like bring it down. Let's have like a repeating pattern, right? So let's do like let's make this all into one large shape that'll kind of come down. It'll be like a big old scale type of thing that comes down. And I really like these types of armor designs where they basically come down a little bit further because it kind of like just like covers the whole crotchal region, and you know, it's always a good place to protect if you are engaging in medieval warfare. And it just makes it a little bit easier, so you don't have to draw the stormtrooper crotch guard thing going on. A little bit easier to draw. Looks a little bit more, I don't know what the word is, more awesome. More encased, the body's more encased in a full suit of armor, and I really like that. Alright. So, and another thing that I've learned to do is basically figure out what is the shape that is going to be reoccurring throughout your armor design, right? So I would say that the shape that we're going to be working mostly with is this type of shape here. Almost looks like a chevron type thing. So let's see how many times we can bring that type of shape into our design, right? Let's see. All right. But it is good. I love having my family here. I'm really, really happy. It's been really good, actually. My brothers have been helping me package all the posters. Like, I didn't realize how much time it was actually going to take. And after all of you went out and bought the posters, I didn't realize how much time it was going to take to actually package all of them. So naturally, the help from my brothers has been very, very welcomed. And it's just nice having them here. I'm excited to pack up my stuff and head on out. Head on back to the promised land. Yeah, and I think some good things. Good things might be in store. Good things might be in store once we get back there. I might start another band. I might start, you know, might get big like Neon Trees. They got started in Provo. You know, I'll just start touring the country. I'd be like, oh, hey guys, okay, I know you like my music, but check out my comic. You know, make the music, tour around the country, and throw comics into the crowd as I'm playing. Right? Or the little CD booklet will actually be Emma comic. I like that. Sounds like a good way to start. All right, so I'm liking that. We got this plate type thing going on there. And let us go ahead and subdivide this as well. Let's go ahead and like put another like large, small, medium kind of going through this. Let's put that up through there. And going through that. Cool. Now let's figure out what we want to do with the side. That looks good. Not bad. Now, do we want to give him some... What are these things called? I want to give him some tasse. I think I want to give him some tasse. Let's give him some tasse. Again, mimicking that same shape coming down. Coming on down. Let's go and connect it like that. Ooh, that looks nice. Ooh, I like that. Yeah, look at that. That looks nice. And you see what we're doing here? I think this is another big thing about designing is you just want to have like these areas of really, really big rest, really large areas, and then you can have like kind of smaller designs as you go out to the edges. Or just basically like concentrate your small designs, and then again you have like another smaller rest area of medium space. I think that's another big thing about design that I'm starting to kind of latch onto and starting to figure out. Or at least pretend like I know what I'm talking about. It makes sense when you hear it. So, therefore, you should not question. Never question. Alright. So I like that. It's looking good. Let's go ahead and give this guy some cool looking burly shoulders. Utilizing this. What can we do here? What can we do? Let's go ahead and pull out some shapes. What do we want? Start with the general shoulder that'll come down like this. And let's see, what can we do? Kind of want to do one of these things. Kind of bring it like that. There we go. Yeah. Like that, just kind of playing around with some shapes. Remember, stay away from squares, stay away from rectangles and circles. Try to come up with some interesting looking shoulders. Ooh, I actually really like that. Kind of how they kind of layer up like that. And again, look, I'm kind of taking that same trim and I'm adding it here. Again, reoccurring designs. And what I can actually do here is I'll kind of point it out a little bit. Point it like that. Maybe I'll bring that up like that. Triangles. Not bad, not bad. And let's have a final plate up here like that. I always like the giant like face guard plate. Looks really cool. There's an actual like functional thing to it. I think it's only supposed to be on one side, but I just like putting it on all my armor designs because it looks cool, right? It's gotta make it look cool. All right. So that looks pretty awesome. I like that. Very, very cool. Very cool. Next up, let's go ahead and just draw another complementary shoulder design or shape over here. Not worry too much about what it looks like right now. Complementary. Cool. All right. So it looks like another reoccurring theme that I'm seeing with this guy is that he has like curves, like there's just curves that are mixed through it, and then it kind of comes to like jagged shapes. So I like that. Kind of want to take that shape, kind of make it into his helm. Like he'll kind of have like this, it's almost like this birdish looking helm thing, or the visor will look like that, right? So I'll have this visor that comes down like that. And I'll have the helmet come up like that. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. And again, let's kind of bring it up and make it back into this shape. Another repeating, or another instance of that. Actually, I don't like it curving like that. Let's have it go like that. Good, good, good. And by the way, for those of you who are interested in when we're going to be starting up the comic again, like start actually streaming the comic, that's going to be coming up within the next week or so. I've just been kind of bogged down a little bit with, you know, getting the posters ready to send out, as well as doing a little bit of contract work, a little bit of freelance work, you know, to keep myself afloat. And yeah, just general things. But don't worry, I haven't forgotten about the comic. We're going to be getting right back into it as soon as possible. Just have some things I must take care of. Some things that I must take care of for some lovely people who have requested my work, that are paying handsomely. And that is money that I need. Money that I need to eat tacos. And keep on keeping, keep on keeping up. Yes, Leshy, Deebs and Tierge are both here. Deebs is Brennan, and Tierge is Quentin. Those are their nicknames I've come up with for them. As well as my pops. But you can all call him Fat Pops. He's not necessarily fat, but I just call him that. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and throw in his Kute. Kute right here. Good. His van braces. Put the strap there. And his gauntlets that are going to lay over top. And I kind of want that pattern, again, repeating itself. This pattern repeats itself here on his gauntlets. Yeah, liking that. And again, remember, let's kind of condense our forms, make sure that we are having some good reads, good easy reads. In fact, I kind of want this to be darker. Let's put like a dark trim around this. I'll make that dark as well. So you see what I'm doing? I'm kind of like pushing and pulling the materials to be what I want them to be. That way they read easily from a glance. In fact, I'll put some darkness in here too. Darkness there, and let's try some darkness there. Not bad, not bad. So yeah, this guy's looking pretty cool. I'll probably put like some slight you know, like plating happening there. Very, very subtle though. Yeah, generally liking that. I don't know, I might change that later. I almost want to do this thing with his gauntlets so they come out a little bit further. Cooler gauntlets! Or you know what's really cool is I like it when you have like a shape like this and then there's another shape that comes from behind it, almost like that. Ooh, that looks really neat. Actually really like that. His gauntlets should look like that. Let's do that instead. Okay, so that shape is happening there. And this shape comes up like that. There we go. A little bit more functional looking. Yeah. I like it. Do I take the dog with me to Utah? No, the dog is not mine. The dog is Jake's, so that does not come with me. But I do have my own dog in Utah. So yeah, I'll definitely be doing that. I'll be getting my own puppies. His name is Charlie. Charlie, like Charlie from Lost. Alright. Yeah, that's how I do things. When I'm ready to move, I just call my family down here and they move everything for me and I just sit here and I draw. That's the way I roll. I'm just kidding. As soon as this is done, I'm actually going to be helping getting everything loaded up. But how nice of them to drive all the way down from Utah to come and help me. Help me out. Brotherly love at its finest. Brotherly support. Alright, so I'm liking this guy. I'm liking the use of the shapes and everything. I like the mixture of the shapes, the soft and kind of the pointy edges. I feel like we're getting a good amount of balance here. However, I feel like this needs to get moved up a little bit because his legs, like, he needs to run in this thing, and like he wouldn't be able to run very far with this. His legs would not be able to come up. So let's go ahead and like trim this up a little ways. Trim this up a little bit. That way it gives a little bit more mobility to his legs. Gotta think about the guy's legs, man. In fact, what I might end up doing is making this chainmail. Like this would be chainmail here. I'll put one more like small little thing right there. And then everything below it is actually chainmail. So usually to do that, I just kind of put some circles through it. And it's like, okay, so that is now chainmail. So now you can see it's a lot more easy or a lot more plausible that this guy would be able to move his legs. Like that. Cloud Spawn is asking an interesting question. He's asking how much does an artist working in a job like Riot make? I think that's actually a very good question to ask. I can't give you exactly how much I was making, but I can give you the range that artists make in that general industry. Artists, like production artists, can make between... It's actually a pretty good range. And actually, I want to go into this in a video about how, how to determine your value and how to raise your value at a company. Generally starting, you would make between 38,000 to about 60,000, right? So you might start anywhere around 40, and then you can work your way up to wherever you want, and then you could even surpass, even 60,000. You can make 90,000. I knew some of my coworkers that were actually making $90,000, and they were other artists, animators and concept artists. And the reason why they made so much is just because they knew how to bring value. They knew how to bring value to the product, and they worked for the right reasons, and they worked very, very well. So working as an artist professionally, as a concept artist, can actually pay you very, very well. But you got to have the right philosophy. You got to understand how to increase your value, and not just work for what you're paid, but take it to that next level. Work for the love of the game. Work for the love of your job and the love of your art. And then that is what takes you to the top. So yeah, good amount of money. Good amount of money. Makes a man feel good. But not as good as making your own product, making your own comic. For me. I just had to do it. I just had to do it. But at the same time, it's nice because, I've created a relationship with that company. I've created a relationship to where I can continue to work for them as a contractor when I really need to. And I'm really grateful for that opportunity. So I think that there's good things. There's great opportunities in everywhere that you decide to work. Leave him with no pants is what they're saying. The less armor, the more, the better. But the less armor, the more effective it is. Yes, but only if you're female. Yes, that is the rule. Yeah, but it's pretty awesome. I love knowing that no matter where you work. Now, I believe that some places have more opportunity, but I really believe that you get paid for the value. You get paid for the value of what you bring to the company as opposed to the time, right? It's not about how long you work. It's about what's the value of what you're doing, right? An artist can make splashes for Riot, right? But that artist can be really, really involved in the community. They can encourage other artists to create things of their own. They can be really, really active on the forums and, the fan art part of the League of Legends forum that barely gets any attention. At least it used to, not, but I don't know if that's changed since then. But I look back on my experience with that, and I was like, man, if I ever work for a company like that again, that's what I want to do. I want to be the artist, but I also want to interact with the community. I really want to build value for the product by interacting with people, getting them excited about product, and just like the game. I really want to work for a game company if I ever end up working a full-time job again. But after doing my thing with the comic, I don't think that is going to happen because I just get too much joy out of making this thing happen. But yeah, you got to think. Don't think so narrow-mindedly as to be like, oh, okay, well they pay me to do this, so that's all I'm going to do. And then just hang on to that little morsel that they pay you. I mean, getting paid 40 to 60,000 is pretty dang good. But don't stop there. Always be thinking about, all right, how can I make this even better? How can I bring more value to my work? How can I get people more excited? How can I get the players more jazzed about it? How can I, spread the word about this? And that's really the biggest thing that I want for the comic, right? I hope that you guys know out there that the best thing that you can ever do to help this comic is actually just spread the word about it. And I always say it, it's like, even though I'm super happy and very, very grateful for the people that are buying the prints and the limited prints and the digital editions, I want to make sure that I'm giving something of value back to you for the money that you decide to invest in the company. But the most important thing that I'll ever ask from you guys is just to, if you enjoy it, if you like it, tell somebody you know about it. Tell your friend about it. If they like zombies, say if they like The Walking Dead, go talk to them about it. Be like, hey, you like The Walking Dead? I'm looking at this really cool comic. It's a little more cartoony, doesn't take it itself as seriously, but it's really, really cool. It's really like immersive. Maybe you think it's immersive. Maybe you like it. Maybe you like I wanted it to be immersive. So if you think it's immersive, then the job well done on that, so far. But I don't even know what I'm doing with these legs. I'm like shading them. I think we are going to keep this guy. You know what we're going to do with this guy? We're going to give him some boxers. But yeah, if you find value in the comic, the only thing I'm ever going to ask of you guys is just to help spread the word about it. Because that is really where all the value is. I just want people to read my story. That's all I need. That's all I ever need from people. I just want the whole world. If I could have the whole world just look at my comic, and all the people, some people would be like, oh, I love it. Other people would be like, this sucks. And other people would be like, eh, whatever. You know, but I just want everybody to read my comic. And those people that can really enjoy it and have fun with it, I want those people to read it. So, but we got a lot of people to show it to in order for that to happen. So yeah, spread the word. We're going to give this guy some nice heart boxers. Because I want to move on to Samus. Cool. Then if you have some ideas for his shoes, just let me know and I'll put some shoes on. But other than that, we're moving on to Samus.
Samus.
Some.
Zero suit Samus.
Samus. And if you have any questions or anything, this is basically an open daily, so please ask any questions. I'll take a glance over here at the chat every now and then, and I will answer anything that you may ask.
That lizard.
Oh, John. John is asking something very good over here. He's asking, do you think it is necessary to have a college education in your field? And no, I don't think it is. John, I've been asked this question before, and I believe that the purpose of, I think college is a great thing to do, but it has to be your learning style. It just so happened that learning through like a school type of system was not for me. I really didn't enjoy it, and I really liked teaching myself. I liked looking at what other people were doing and then saying, oh wow, okay, I'm going to do that too. I'm going to basically copy them, learn what they did there, learn their style, and then I'll be able to basically like congeal that into the ball that makes up my skill, and then I just kind of morph and like teach myself the whole way through. And that's just my learning style. Not to mention I didn't have a lot of money to be spending on tuition to go to Cal Arts, which is like $30,000 a year, or $30,000 I think a semester or something like. I don't know what it is, but it's like outrageous. Truly, truly outrageous. So yeah, needless to say, that was not quite the option for me. So I was like, all right, well, what can I do with that? And I decided to go ahead and teach myself. But I think the most important thing with deciding whether or not you want to go to college is think about when your employer is looking at your resume, they want to see what you've been doing with your time. Like me, instead of going to college, I was fortunate enough to find an opportunity where I could work in the industry from, you know, I think just like 6 months out of high school. 6 or 7 months out of high school. And I started as just an intern there, and I was working for a company called Sandman Studios, and eventually I went on to illustrate their books. Illustrate 2 of their books. And so that was a lot of fun. So, and then when I went to Riot with that portfolio, it's like, yeah, I don't have any college degree, I don't have any of this stuff, but look, I've been working in the industry for 4 years now, and I've illustrated 2 books. I concepted these characters, concepted, you know, not only what they look like, the style of the book, but everything that they're going to be wearing, and basically just the whole visual style. I concepted it from the ground up, and you know, that was actually really impressive to them. They like seeing that. So I think the most important thing to realize is that, you know, I think a bad thing that college tells you is, and again, take this with a grain of salt, this is my opinion, but college basically says, hey, you make this investment, you put all this money in, and then at the end, there'll be this job waiting for you. You know, at the end, when you do all this work, after you put in all this money, all this investment, there's going to be a job at the end waiting for you, right? But that's not necessarily the case, right? That's what they want you to believe, but it's not really, there's no guarantee about that. Sure, you're going to be a lot more attractive because you've gotten all this education. But really, what it comes down to is school, for me, if I was employing you, if you're sitting down in front of me and I was going to hire you to be a part of my company, I would just want to see what you were doing with your time. Show me that you're serious. Show me that you're really, really interested in making art your life, right? Because I'm going to invest my time into you. I'm going to invest my money into you. Then, you know, you need to show me that you're serious. All right, so quick break here. we're going to basically start designing this Samus armor, and but we want to make it our own. Okay, so let's come up with. We're basically working with a circle, right? Let's figure out a cool way to make this circle a little bit more interesting. So let's kind of work with a.
I honestly would have moved the bed last.
Let's work with a shape like this, maybe.
Okay.
Do I like that? Ooh, that's kind of cool. It's kind of like a yin-yang thing. Why not? Why not?
Yeah, I should probably leave.
Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to concept this here. I'm going to put like that little ball there. I'm going to kind of do one of these things. Kind of bring that down like that. And then let's see what else we can do.
I lost my
Oh, that's pretty cool. Interesting. And just feel free to put like crazy cuts through your armor when you're first starting out. Just have fun with it, right? Don't worry about it looking all perfect. Late for work, Jarvinskin. Yeah, you need a strong portfolio, and you need to show people what you've been doing with your time. Going back to that, just that's the bottom line.
I've basically only been playing WoW and like Smash Bros. Dude, it's your fault. You got sort of.
All right. So what are you guys saying over here? Any other questions? I said not use the circles, right? I said don't use circles. Use them sparingly. But you'll notice that I kind of broke the circle up into a couple different types of shapes, right? So you can start with a circle, but then I've incorporated like this type of thing, you know, like this little yin-yang thing, and then this little crescent almost design. So you can do stuff like that. You can do stuff like that if you really want to, but try to stay away from like, okay, circle here, circle here, circle here, circle here. You know, it already looks really, really silly. So, all right. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Think about our crescents. This is really funny. Basically, it does look like Samus Aran. And I like it. Except I'm going to break it off. I'm going to make it my own thing. Right here. Almost looks like a Nautilus shell. Almost. It's like a shell type thing. Interesting. Yeah. I'm going to turn around at the end of the show, and all of my stuff is going to be gone. My room is going to be completely empty. It's going to be crazy. Alrighty. And usually a general rule of thumb is the chest piece I like to break up into like a couple pieces, right? One that kind of comes off the chest, and then one that kind of covers the abdomen area. So you want to think about just like a general like cut happening right here. You got to think about the mobility, right? If you're going to bend yourself, there has to be some sort of like cut there to allow your chest to move. Similar through here and here, right? A couple like moving parts to move over each other. Let's go ahead and do that. I almost feel bad. I almost feel bad making my family do all this for me. I wanted to help them. Oh my gosh. My room is disappearing. That's scary. I wanted to help them, but I totally forgot. I forgot that today was in fact Thursday. And originally my thought was, because we were going to be leaving on Saturday, and this is me defending myself, right? We're going to be leaving on Saturday, and so I was like, okay, we're going to be packing up everything Saturday night, right? But that's not the case at all. We're actually leaving early Saturday. We're leaving at around like 11 or 12 on Saturday. And yeah, so everything basically has to be packed up by then. All right, so let's take a look at this helmet and figure out how we're going to make it look cool. All right, what do we want to do with this helmet to make it a little bit different? I know. Let's put like some giant ears on it. Yeah, sci-fi armor. I like it. I like it. I'm just going to be crazy here. I'm going to make the visor actually asymmetrical. Say he's like a one-eyed guy. Ooh, that's kind of cool. He's a one-eyed guy, so he doesn't need a full visor. Interesting. Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting crazy, and I like getting crazy. Just going to put that circle right there. Yes! That looks kind of silly. Let's keep that there. Giant ears. Giant sci-fi ear thingies. Cool. That's good. That's good. And you know, another thing that I like about Samus is that her armor, it actually like comes out. It's like it almost like creates like a thing. Like it's not just like flat against her chest, because obviously she's not flat chested. So let's go ahead and do something similar. I like how her armor kind of comes out a ways, right? So it kind of does one of these things. I like that. This armor's getting really messy, like really fast. So, but again, just pay attention to how I'm experimenting. Don't worry about it being perfect. In fact, a lot of your designs off the beginning probably look a little silly. But don't worry too much about that. Just have some fun with it. Put some lights on there, right? Once you go sci-fi, you can justify putting lights on everything. So this is heavily influenced off of Samus's design.
Yeah. Yeah. But he's obviously not too heavy.
All right. So that's looking okay. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's give him some nice giant cutés. Some nice giant cutés, and trying not to get hit in the head by my bed frame. It's always good. All right. Cool. This guy's looking awesome. And another thing I really like to do is when you're experimenting with these shapes is like, especially if you're doing like a cartoony style, don't be afraid to like really cut into this stuff and be like, oh, like think about your thick to thins, right? He has like these thin little arms, then he has like these gigantic gauntlets, right? These gigantic gloves. I like doing stuff like that. Kind of varying it up and giving some cool contrast and stuff like that. Stuff like that. I like it. Cool. So yeah, we're covering a broad range of armor designs. We got sci-fi insectoid man. We got Shakespearean heart boxers man. And good old demon Jarvan over there, whatever he's got going on. I don't know exactly, but whatever. All right, how much time we got? 7:40. Wow, we still got 20 minutes. Jeez. Any other questions? It feels like time is like going really slow, strangely. I was like, for sure we've been drawing for an hour. For sure we've been drawing for an hour. Alrighty. Just waiting for the desk to start moving away. And they just like pick me up, and I'm like going, they're like moving me down to the trailer. The stream just like cuts halfway as the power cord gets pulled out of the wall. All right. John is asking another great question. He's asking, just out of curiosity, what are you going to miss more, your pool or your awesome view? Um, I don't know. I didn't swim. I didn't swim in the pool that much. I swam at the pool at Riot a lot more. They had like a gym there, and I'd go swimming in the morning, and I really, really enjoyed that. That was a good way to kind of stay in shape, you know, before I went and sat down for the next 8 hours. But yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. You know, as funny as it sounds, I mean, I enjoy the view. It's really fun to like at the end of the day just kind of sit down and meditate and kind of contemplate things, think about life. Think about nothing is really what I'm trying to get good at. I love thinking about nothing, but it's actually a lot harder than it sounds. But I realized that you know the view is awesome, but you know I can be staring at a wall and feel just as you know relaxed after a moment. You know. I don't think it matters so much about where you are, but like where you are in your mind, right? As far as meditation goes, and that's basically what I've been going into as of late. Just really trying to relax and think about stuff because I've been really like anxious. You know, it's obviously it's very normal to think that you know a big change is coming up. You know, moving everything, packing up everything that I've worked for, and then moving to a whole new area. And there's a lot of anxiety that's going through me right now. A little bit nervous, a little bit scared, but I'm also really excited, you know, because it's a new chapter of my life. It's a new beginning. And I think things are going to be really cool. I'm actually planning to get my own place here pretty soon with my brothers. And that should be pretty cool. So who knows? Maybe in the next couple months you might be seeing us in our new place, and we'll just be running the business out of that new place. That'll be really awesome. It'll be nice to be with my family and my brothers again. And I kind of do miss Utah. There's some really good things about Utah. Awesome things to see. I'm really kind of like an outdoorsy guy. I really like to go exploring and hiking, and there's stuff to do like that here in California, but in Utah it just seems like it's just more tangible. You just look out your window and you see the mountains. It just makes you want to go there. Whereas here, there's some good hills. There's some good hills to go check out, and I have gone and checked out some good hills. But yeah, there's still a lot that I need to come back and see. But yeah, for now, just ready to start something new. In fact, the reason I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. I wouldn't say that California is better than Utah or vice versa. I just think that the only reason why Utah is more feasible right now is because like basically for the amount that I'm paying here, I've said this before, the amount that I'm paying to live in this one room, I could have my own 2-bedroom apartment and be splitting the rent with somebody. You know, so it's going to be a lot easier financially. I'm in a position now where I can get work from around the world, you know, because I can freelance. And I've built up a substantial portfolio to where I can apply to places and get work if I need it. And I'm really, really happy about that. Although I'd really like to, as soon as possible, actually not have to freelance at all. I'd love to be able to just make money completely off of the business and be able to devote 100% of my time to creating the product and yeah, just expanding it and giving more awesome things to you guys, because that's really what I'm in this for. I'm in this to give something awesome away for free and to tell a story and to make a comic for myself. And anybody who wants to enjoy that with me is more than welcome to do so. Interesting. So, I mean, there's some things about this armor that I'm liking, and some things that I'm not, but whatever. I'm just going forward with it. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's go and bring these down. I'm definitely going to give him some greaves. I'm going to give him some greaves that have the knee plate attached to it. I'm going to make it massive, right? Massive, because we got to make this guy futuristic, right? And everybody in the future has giant boots, giant knee guards, and giant gauntlets, because they have the technology that allows them to actually support them. It actually defies gravity a little bit. It makes it easy to move around with, right? Little servo mechanisms in there or whatever, just like move it around for you. You just have to think it. It's like connected to your brain. Because that's the way I think of it. Alright. So let's think about that. We will give him the little what is it, Stormtrooper crotch guard. Good times. Good times. Everybody in the future can have giant boots. Giant boots are the name of the game. So, but do you guys see what I'm doing here? I'm really just kind of, I've got my ego out of it. I think that's the most important thing to do. Like, I remember there was a time when I was in San Francisco, and I was watching the guys from Massive Black do something very, very similar. It's about creating memorable character silhouettes, which is a pretty audacious course name, right? If you're going to name your course how to create memorable silhouettes and memorable characters, you got to make sure you actually draw a memorable character. But they were drawing stuff basically like this, right? And I was like, okay, that's a good start, but that's not really like a memorable character. You know, there has to be something more iconic about it. It needs to be more streamlined. It needs to just have that it factor. And I don't know exactly what that is, but I do know that you can find it the more you just elaborate on it, the more you simplify it. And in fact, the most often the thing that I notice is the difference between an iconic character and a non-iconic character is really how simple it is. You notice, I mean, you look at Emma. The reason why she's so easy to remember is because she's just basically, you know, she's three things. It's the girl, it's skin, dress, boots, right? And notice this. It's almost broken down into the law of, you know, like large space, medium space, small space. You know? So you can almost kind of apply that here. And then you got like the hair and the axe and all that stuff. But Emma, I think, is very memorable because she's simple. And even when you're creating very, very intricate, you know, designs and armor, I still feel that there are ways to simplify it and make it very, very readable from a distance. Like if you were to take Samus's design, I mean, if I were to just sketch it quickly from what I remember of it, is that she has the iconic helmet, right? And this is gonna be a terrible Samus design, so I'm gonna sketch it the best I can remember. And it might be a good thing because actually this shows you how important it is to simplify your characters. So it's like, okay, so what makes up Samus, right? You've got her helmet, you've got her shoulders, the giant circle shoulders, right? Even that, if I were to show that to any of my friends, I'd be like, who is this? They'd be like, that's Samus, right? So that is really what it comes down to. It's like, how do you make a character so recognizable that you can just draw a few simple shapes of the beginnings of it, and you'll know who it is, right? You look at this guy, and he's kind of similar to Samus. He's kind of got those circle things going on. But, you know, I look at this guy, and I'd be like, okay, well, what's interesting about this guy? Possibly that visor. You know, the fact that his visor of his helmet looks like this, right? Or maybe his visor, like if I were to draw his entire helmet, maybe if he only has one eye, maybe I'd draw his visor more like this, right? Maybe his visor wouldn't even have an eye over here. Maybe we just have one like that. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Like one angry eye, and then this one, maybe it's like, maybe there's like a seam line that goes up through here, like that. Yeah, I like that. That's interesting. So you see what I did there? I basically just took that same design of what am I liking about this? I asked myself, what am I liking about this design? And then I took it and then I simplified it down into what's sticking out to me. And it's that one eye, the idea that I had with the one eye sticking out like that. And then you got these things coming up, these little antennas, if you wanted to do something like that. And there you have the beginnings of a possible iconic character, right? Because there's not a lot of characters that look like that. That have a visor with one eye and then a seam going over the other one, you know? And again, there's all kinds of ways that you can go through this and make it cooler, but that's a basic design, like a basic start. Basic start of cool, villainous, sci-fi tick guy. I don't know. With lights. Don't forget the lights. The lights tell us that it's from the future. Okay? All right, peoples. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the last few minutes to questions. So if you have anything that you would like to do, simply line up your catapults, aim them over the castle walls, and cast them. Cast them over the walls, and then I'll answer your questions with grace, and then I'll send them back to you on a bed of floaty grass down the river. All right. Pichu is asking, so you are moving? Yes, I am moving. I've been talking about, I think I said it recently, like over the past couple weeks, about how I'm taking off and going back up to Utah. Going to be running the business from up there. Possibly getting a place with my brothers. And yeah, might be just continuing the business as usual, continuing the comic. My little brother is really talented with art. He wants to start a comic too. So I figured, hey, I can show you how to do it. I can show you how to make a website. I can show you how to do all that stuff. And maybe you can help me out with the comic as well. So, all right. CloudSpawn is asking, how old were you when you got interested / serious in learning digital art? All right, let's see. I got interested back when I was, I think I was like 14. I was always interested in drawing. Like I just drew on regular paper with pencil, right? I just drew pictures all the time, you know, just growing up. My mind was always set on, okay, what's the next thing? What's the next big thing? I'd always be excited about improving and challenging myself over and over and over again. But then I went over to my friend Skylar's house one day, and that was right around when, that was back when the Sega Dreamcast was actually big. So I was really like excited to always go over and play Dreamcast with him. I think we were playing Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And Skylar was actually also an artist, and he was getting art lessons from a guy that was teaching him Photoshop. And this was like the first time that I had even like noticed, like I didn't even know that digital art even existed before this. Like I used to look at the video game covers and I'd be like, how do they make this? How do they do that? Like I never really asked myself that question. So of course when I saw that you could do art on the computer, I was like, whoa, that's so cool. You can just like add color. You can scan in your pencil drawing and add color to it. I was like, that's great. I want to learn how to do that. And so, and of course me being as naive as I was like, how do they do that with the mouse? You know? I was so silly, so naive. I didn't know that there was even such a thing as a tablet. So when I first started, I would just scan in my pictures and I'd color, just basically using this thing right here, using the mouse. I just very, very painstakingly, very tediously color my picture. So yeah, I got started, you know, I guess, what is that, like 11 years ago? And I actually didn't start using a tablet. I didn't start using a tablet until after I had started working for Sandman Studios. And yeah. That was not even until I got out of high school. I didn't even start using a tablet till then. So that was another big cool thing for me to get in contact with and start using. It was very, very fun. All right. Alexandre Lecour says, and hire people? Will you hire people? Yes, that is my goal. I would love to be able to start hiring people to help me out with the comic. Or, I mean, there's tons of jobs that, you know, can be done with the comic and, like, the website and running the show. And there's tons of, like, opportunities that are going to present themselves and actually are currently presenting themselves. I just need to make sure that I get the company up and running properly, get it set up so it has a nice flow, financial stuff coming in, and all that good stuff. We create a nice, healthy comic company, right? If we're going to be the next Marvel Studios, got to make sure you start off well. All right. So, Aaron Pinel is asking, how is your brother's training on drawing going? Not so good.
It's going great.
No, it's not going good.
Yeah.
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
No, but he's having fun. He's got his own really cool style. In fact, at the end of this, when I post it to YouTube, I'll actually put a link to his DeviantArt down in the comments. Do you want me to do that?
Yeah, sure.
I'll put a link down in the comments, and you guys can go check out his DeviantArt page, and you can see his cool style and his potential. And actually, he's just good as it is. So, CloudSpawn asks, I'm going to take a couple more questions, and then we're going to end. I'm going to take these last questions, and then we're going to end day 70, or KNKL show number 75, continued. And I can finish packing up what's left. There's actually not much left. I can finish packing up the rest of my room and getting ready to head out to the promised land. Yes. All right. So Cloud Spawn is asking, how's the design for your medieval art school going? Where we can literally catapult questions at you. Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. Like everybody's just like sitting in their desks, you know, and you have like these little catapults, you know, you just like crumple up, like take a piece of paper, like crumple it up into the catapult, like line it up, and then like launch it at the teacher. That'd be awesome. That'd be pretty awesome. And then I just like have to catch them randomly out of the air, and then whoever's I catch is just read and answer. That'd be pretty sweet. Or giant catapults that are actually rocks. And it's just like this massive boulder, but it has like a tiny little fortune cookie sized note on it that has your question on it, and I have to find it after it plows through the castle wall. But that is going quite well. Right now it's all up here. I still need to lay out the blueprints for the castle that we're going to be building. But yeah, it's going quite well. It's going quite well. The dream will be a reality. All right, people. All right. Noxie is asking, good question, Noxie. I'm drawing an Emma cover. Will you use it? Depends, Noxie. Depends if it blows me away, to be honest. I've had some people that have submitted some awesome cover designs to me. And while the art, I want to make sure that you're not offended if you submit something to me and be like, oh, well, I'm not going to use it, but I like the idea and I might expand upon it. You know, but in order for me to use like an actual comic that comes in like for a cover, like it need to be really exceptional, because think about it this way. Also, if I use your art, I'm going to need to strike a deal with you. That way all the money that I make off the prints is going to be going to you too, which is going to be awesome. And it's actually an opportunity that I want to be able to offer to people in the future. But as of right now, might not be very plausible. However, if you do want to create an idea for a comic cover, in fact, some people have already gone ahead and done that because they are awesome individuals, and I like that. I'll actually take your idea, I'll expand upon it, I will call you a concept artist, I will put you in the comic at the end as concept artist, and then I'll feature your work in the concept art thing that comes with the digital edition, the exclusive digital edition. So you'll get your work featured in something that goes out across the world. And that is very awesome. So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and end episode 75 of the KNKL show. Continued. Thank you guys once again for joining me on Ustream Live. For those of you on YouTube, thumbs up if you like it, thumbs down if you don't. My name is Keenan Lafferty. I will see you guys soon. Keep in mind, I don't know exactly. I should be able to have the show up and running again by Monday, but just in case, maybe Tuesday, I'll update you guys on Facebook as to everything that's going on. So until then, you guys take care of yourselves. Later.